Over the life of my channel, I have built numerous DPSs, most of them being support characters that I have made do damage, but a lot of them were built for one video, and I just never really went back and revisited them. But today, I want to go back and revisit some of those supports that we turned into DPSs and try to do a little bit more damage with them, fix up their builds, and hopefully hit over 200k with as many of them as I can. If you did see my last video, I mentioned that I was probably going to do another challenge account for this video. I didn't have time to do that. So the new challenge account will be coming out next video. I just had to throw that in here so you didn't mistake this as our new challenge account. So the way I'm going to do this is just by going back through my YouTube channel and going to my oldest videos, finding the videos where I built a DPS, and I'm going to be trying to rebuild them. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be doing Chi-Chi. She was the first one I did, I believe, because I've done too many DPS Chi-Chis at this point. So we're going to move on to the next character that I turned into a DPS, which was my Lynette. Now, I actually never did a C6 DPS video from what I can see. I only did her as a cryo DPS. So we are going to be building her properly this time as an actual Animo DPS with her normal attacks. Now, in terms of build, she is pretty good. She's level 90. Her talents are at level 9 all across the board, so that's fine. So our only real issue is weapons and artifacts. Now, weapons, just because it's crit rate, I'm going to have to go with Duran's. I mean, it's probably not the best, but it's just the only decent weapon I've got. Otherwise, it's energy recharge or physical damage. And I'd imagine the 4 stars would just lose more damage. We get more out of Duran's weapon. Plus, the crit rate's nice, and we can get, I mean, I guess the crit damage from Elemental Burst is okay, but it's not really useful because her burst isn't doing a bunch of damage. We can still throw out her burst to get that bit of attack increase, I think, which I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's just attack increase, so that just affects her whole kit. So I feel like that's going to be our best bet. And then in terms of artifacts, we have a few options here. We just want to prioritize the normal attack damage, that's all we care about. Obviously, Viridescent is an option. Increase the swell damage and whatnot. Don't think it's going to be our best option though. I believe either Marichose, because normal and charge attack damage increase and we get extra crit rate. I believe Gladiators probably wouldn't be a terrible pick, because if we have a Sword Claymore Polearm, which we do, we get a 35% normal attack damage increase, plus the 18% attack we already have from the 2-piece. 45% crit damage? That is that is okay. That's crazy. We are probably just going to need to run a crit rate circlet just because of how much crit damage is on this piece. That should be our best build, and that sits her at a 96 to 162. So we could probably get away with swapping this out to a good crit damage circlet. So that will bring us to a 71 to 211, which is actually really good. And the attack situation is just shy of 2000, which is pretty good. Don't really need the ER, and we have a bit of animo damage. So actually pretty good Lynette build. This feather's helping us out a lot with that, with a 45.1% crit damage and a 3.9% crit rate, which I think would bring this to a over 50% crit value, because I believe the crit rate is doubled for crit value calculations, though I could be wrong about that. If not, that is probably my first over 50 crit value piece. We just need to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the team. Now, obviously, we're going to need people that both buff damage and also buff normal attack damage. We will definitely use Faruzan. That is a non-negotiable. She will increase our damage by a lot. So this could be an option for a team. Otherwise, we could also get rid of Bennett and put in... I could put Yunjin on because she buffs normal attack damage, and I believe she's not C6. Okay, I seriously thought she was C6, but I think she still does buff normal attack damage. So we could run Yunjin, and then because we won't be able to get very much fanfare with Farina, I could swap her out for Mona instead, because Mona would be able to do buffing without needing healing like Farina. So I think we're going to try both of those teams, and because Lynette won't do massive just single target damage, that's just not really how she works, I'm going to be looking for like around a 40 to 50,000 off one of her normal attacks. I think that is fair. And then her overall burst rotation should be doing, well over 200. Bennett's screwing this up, isn't he? Bennett is most certainly screwing this up. That's problematic. That's the downsides with C6 Bennett, I guess. He is really good for most things, but whenever he takes away infusion, then he is less good. So I think I'm probably not going to worry about Farina at the moment. And we're just going to try out this team. Boom. That does 61,000. And then we see 15,000, 12,000, 20,000. Okay, it's not great. I don't know how I forgot about this, but I could actually run a plunge attack build because we can do that with Lynette. And Xian Yun can do the healing for Farina. So I've just swapped Lynette over to a Long Night's Oath because it does plunge attack damage increasing. I don't know if that's our best option, but I think it would work pretty well. Let's try this out. I don't know if we're going to see too much more damage, but plunge attack is always fun. So we shall see. And is that 80,000? That's not. Oh my god. Okay. That's a lot more damage. I think I threw 90,000 in there and then some 80,000s, which is well and truly all the damage I wanted to see out of my Lynette. So we can move on to the next team, which is really not too different because the next character that I built as a DPS was DPS Faruzan. So for this team, we're going to throw in Farina as well. And then I'm just going to go full buffing, go Bennett and Mona because that will probably be pretty good. So now with 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Viridescent, and on the Skyward Harp, is there any other options? I could put an Aqua Simulacra. I don't know when I got that weapon actually, but I have it. First, we'll just have a look. 92 to 163. Yeah, we'll swap her to Aqua Simulacra. It'll bring her to a pretty much 70 to 226.8. That's pretty good. 1700 attack. I feel like this should be pretty good actually. Burst. That did 156, so pretty close. We're on the 50,000 off. How could I make up that 50,000? You know what would help? Getting her to level 90. I mean, the whole point of this video was trying to get all of these characters that I left at level 80, not at level 80, but I was kind of hoping that I would at least have them all to their last ascension, but apparently not. So let's go run, I believe it is this boss. Let's go do some runs against this boss. And I guess try to get Faruzan ascended and leveled up one more time. That would probably help us in getting to that 200,000. I'm only going to have enough resin for 2 boss runs today, which is not going to get us close to level 19 our Faruzan. So I'll probably have to work a little bit on this tomorrow, which could be tricky because I don't have a lot of time tomorrow. But oh well, it is what it is. I will try to build the other characters today and we could maybe get Faruzan sorted tomorrow. I will not have time to build every character that I've turned into a DPS, obviously, because there are a lot of them. So I'll probably do another 1 or 2 in this video. Well, that is all the boss runs that I can do today. It is most certainly not going to be enough because we have 15. I should go probably farm these, so I'll do that after this recording because it's boring. So we'll see what I can do with Faruzan and see if I get her built tomorrow. But now, though, we're going to move on to the next character, and that would be Dory. And I'm setting the bar low with this one. And I'm saying tops of 100,000 maybe. But even then, that might be pushing it. We would probably run her best on an overload team. And use Dern and Chevris. And I'd say probably Sarah if I have Sarah built. I don't have Chevris built. Great. And Sarah is substantially less built. But I don't know if I really need her to be super built. Oh no, it's based off of her base attack, which I need to level her up a lot more to do. So maybe we don't run Sarah. I could use Kinishi's weapon, but I don't think that'll do much because it only gives us 11% crit rate, which has to be like one of the lowest crit rates on a signature weapon, surely. So I'm probably going to have to go for something attack main stat because that is all I have, in which case that probably would be our best option because pyro-related reactions trigger more damage from elemental skill. Probably best to run some form of electro. I mean, Thundering Fury could be decent because we get overload damage increase. Golden Troop might actually be pretty good. So I'm going to start with that. We'll go Golden Troop only because I know I have good pieces on Golden Troop. So I can at least get her onto some form of a decent build. With that, that brings Dory up to a 73 to 119, which is not very good. But these are the best pieces I have, and I don't think she'd work well on a crit damage, because that would probably bring her crit rate too low. Yeah, it's only a 50 now. I think though, just because I don't have good pieces, I will just use some crit rate food for that 50 and bump it up to something like a 70 or so. That probably won't be the best option, but it's the best I could do for now with the limited amount of good 5-star claymores I have. We'll get Dory's weapon up to level 90. There you go. I'm not going to have the Mora for this. You know what? We're not going to do that because I need to save it for Faruzan. So let's go see what this can do. I've already set the bar low at like 100 or less K. So I don't expect this to be very good, but let's see what we can do. We're going to run Dory, we're going to run Duran, Bennett, and Chevrolet. I will need to get my rotations down for this, but let me check. That's only an 8-second cooldown, which should be enough time for me to run through the rest of my rotations and then be able to do it, because otherwise I won't have the stuff for Chevrolet because I need to get an overload reaction from her. So let's start with Bennett because I need his burst up. So Pyro will do that. Then I will do Duran. We will chuck out Chevrolet. Boom. And then Dory. And that didn't do a whole lot. I didn't use food buffs with my Dory, so she probably didn't crit. I think 20% crit rate is going to be the best we can get. So let's use this because 20% crit rate and 20% crit damage. That'll now bring her up to 65% crit rate, which is not very good, but it will have to do. Skill. That was like 40,000 actually. I mean, it's not good. It's not good by any means, but it's a lot more than I thought we'd do. So I guess I'll take it. It's definitely not the 200,000 I was hoping for. But I mean, I suppose with all of the normal attacks that we're doing with Dory when we have the C6 Bennett, it'd probably get close-ish to 200,000 on her rotation. So I mean, yeah, I guess it's not great, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But I guess that's probably the best I'm going to see out of Dory because it's Dory. So now I just need to go do a little bit more farming for Faruzan and I'll try her out tomorrow and see if I can get 200,000 with her, but I kind of doubt I'm going to be able to see 200,000. Okay, so I just realized I actually probably don't have enough time to work on Faruzan tomorrow, so I just went and used a fragile resin and now we can get her up to level 90. Luckily, I had enough of the local specialty she needs. Not gonna have enough books though, that's fine. Level 84 will do. I want to make sure this is a 200,000 hit, so we're going to use some food buffs. So we're going to start this with Farina Burst, then Skill, jump to Bennett, Mona because she has Thrilling Tales, do a Swirl, and then Burst. That was only 160,000? That seems way less than what it should be doing. I really thought that I'd do 200,000. I mean, maybe it's because she's running Noblesse Viridescent? What if I just run full Viridescent? Does that make us do more damage? We're sitting at 74 to 222 and 2,000 attack. I guess we'll see if this does more. I mean, it could. We could get more damage just from the swirl buffing than we would from just burst buffing. Honestly, I wouldn't think so, but I guess you never know. Get a little swirl in there and boom. 166,000. It was about the same. Okay, well, not as much damage as I would have liked to see, which is funny because I really thought I would have done more, but I guess not. Oh well, we're still seeing 20,000s and I didn't see how much we're doing from the charge attacks, but quite a bit from the charge attacks. So yeah, it's close enough. I don't really have enough time to be super particular about this. I was going to try to do my first video of my new challenge account today, but I didn't have time for that. So this video is very, very, very last minute, which you could probably tell by how rushed it feels. So while I would have liked to do a little bit more with Faruzan and the rest of the characters we tried out today, I just don't have the time for that at the moment, unfortunately. So that is where I'm going to have to leave this video off. It was a bit of a rush one, a bit of just a random one, but I'm working on the new challenge account video and that will be out next video for sure, 100% guaranteed. So I hope you guys look forward to that one. This was just a random video I threw together because I needed to get something out. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you like this video, do go check out my Genshin builds playlist where I have all of the original builds I did for all these characters. And with that being said, do consider subscribing and I'll see you all in the next one. Good. Bye.